There's an exercise that you do with a glass of water. You could take a glass, pour water in it, and what you do, you infuse the power of your intentions within that water, and that water becomes the water of your dreams. It becomes dream water. Now you drink it. Now you're actually thoroughly reinforcing the power of your dreams becoming infused within the physical body. The body is mainly comprised of water for a reason. Water is the best conduit for electricity, for communication, for information to travel, energy as a passage. So your body and your organs are all mainly comprised of water, which hold energy and information, but also they can hold feelings and emotions. And when they hit you at 440 hertz, that is the precise frequency that generates harmonic distortion in the polar molecules of the body. It generates distortion in the water, like sending disruptive ripples. And look at what a drop of water goes through when it's pulverized with 440 hertz underneath a cymatoscope. Now, this is irrefutable. You'll see the proponents to this. They'll advocate, oh, this is ridiculous. They'll hit you with plausible deniability, and when that doesn't work, they'll hit you with cognitive dissonance. Absolutely, because they're trying to disrupt the value of love by replacing it with something just hideous, and you getting to accept that is the only way there is. When in fact, that what 440 hertz does to your body, it's also doing to every aspect, every cell, every organism, every fiber of your physical being that your soul is incarnated in. And you guys the both of you, your soul and the body, are enmeshed temporarily, and then when the body sleeps, the soul departs and it comes back. But as long as you have that destiny that you're supposed to be here for a specific allotted amount of time, a specific duration of time, that is how long you will be connected to the physical. So you are inherently woven together, interlocked, interlaced, intertwined, entwined, enmeshed, quantum entanglement with the body. And the body is water for a reason. Water is the greatest conductor of electricity, which is electromagnetic induction. It is the transfer and transmission and reception of energy, information. Your body holds stress, your organs, the mind. Your body's mainly water. Water holds information in the form of anything that it receives. And if it's being pulverized by 440 hertz, what do you think that's doing? It's sending disruptive shock waves throughout your system, and it holds on to this disruptive energy. And that's where you get your stress and your nervousness and your tension, your anxiety. It propagates this. It's like standing waves. It's a signal of sound that hits a parallel surface and is bounced back through reverberation. And every time it hits the flat surface, the two parallel flat surfaces that are very close together, it propagates. So that very, very small, weak signal now becomes just blistering, and that's where you get feedback from. When you get that feedback from a guitar, that's standing waves, because that signal is propagating inside the hollow chamber of the guitar, because the two surfaces are parallel instead of tapered. So it is that incongruent propagation that your body's holding on to. It's the stress that it doesn't want to release, and that's what triggers these projections that you send out to receive these experiences that match what the body is asking for, that has been artificially induced into it, knowing full well the result that you will encounter. See how it all works against you. These things you don't understand and you don't realize because they're not going to inform you about them. They won't. They're not going to tell you what's going on. They simply won't. Your body is water. If you don't believe me, you go read up on it and look at the effects of frequencies and what frequencies do to water, how they generate these beautiful geometrical precision depictions and graphic drawings and designs, and art, these beautifully articulated works of art. I personally feel that these are like, to put it, plainly, like codes. Like you see like hieroglyphs and pictographs and petroglyphs inside of caves. Well, each one of those hieroglyphs is a depiction of, like, let's say, a human being with a cat, whatever. I mean, you if you look at hieroglyphs, ancient Egypt, but each one of those drawings actually has a meaning to it, and that's what these these graphic depictions, these geometrical designs are when frequencies interact with other objects in the physical. It could be water or sand. Like if you look under cymatics, it's cymatics, cymatics. And you can see the power of sound that it has on the metal plate with sand. Each different frequency generates its own specific geometrical depiction, like in other words, a different shape. And you can cycle through the frequencies in the same sand, same metal plate, but it will be a different geometrical depiction every time that frequency changes. It's freaking amazing. And I feel that those geometrical depictions are like blueprints to something otherworldly. Now that is what the power of sound does to sand, but it also does it to water, because the water will take on and assume this type of geometrical design that is conducive to what that frequency is causing it to become, because it's triggering it. It's like activating another dimensional plane of consciousness. Now, the only one that is incongruent is the 440 hertz frequency. I believe it was in the 1950s that the Rockefellers standardized the music to A440 for this reason, and that's a known fact. It used to be, before then, it was 432 hertz. 432 hertz complements the human frequency. 440 hertz cancels it out. 440 hertz is also the precise frequency that not only generates harmonic distortion in the polar molecules of the body, but as well, it causes you to be disconnected to your relationship in the frequency of the earth. In other words, it knocks you out of alignment with remaining in connection to the earth, which is your natural, biological, organic connection to the universe. But now what it does is it causes you to remain connected to that system, which is unnatural. You know? And that's exactly why you experience what you experience in the physical. It's always worry and panic and stress. This is a multi-pronged attack from every area, from every angle, from every direction that they continuously inundate you with. And you are deluged and bombarded by these things unconsciously. So you have to take into consideration that you have been victimized, not even knowing it. So your body holds on to all this stress. That's why stress is the one element that can kill you. You know, like they say, be careful, you might worry yourself to death. That is very true. It is that artificially induced volatility of stress, that self-induced stress, that manifests itself into tangible physical ailments, all kinds of ailments, things that are incurable. That is what the mind does. Once it's focused on something becoming real, it will do it until it reaches terminus, terminal velocity, critical mass, however you choose to word it. That's what the mind will do. The soul is not going to buy into this because the soul operates in a completely different level. It's metaphysical in nature. But I'm trying to get you to realize that you are water. The air you breathe is water. The body that you occupy is water. This earth is mainly comprised of water because water is a single unifying element that binds both the material and the spiritual. It binds the spiritual realm with the material world together as one. Now, if you disrupt that water, what do you think it's doing to your journey? Think about it. Why do you think the earth is mainly comprised of water? It's the water that we drink, the water that we breathe, the water that we need, the water that we are. Why do you think it's mainly comprised of water? Because water is the very element that gives life in the physical. And they know this. So if they can disrupt that with whatever type of means that they have, chemical, sound waves, any type of biological or chemical warfare, whatever, and they are doing it, and they have been doing it for centuries, they'll do anything they can to disrupt your connection to the organic, biological, natural. And they do that. And that will only leave you with one option that is not viable, and that is to plug into their system. They don't want you to be harmonious and unified and interconnected. They don't want you to be silent and peaceful and still and tranquil and serene. They don't want you to commune with your higher self. They don't want you to meditate. They don't want you to pray. I'm not talking about religious prayer. I'm talking about just a communication and open dialogue to God. They don't want that. They discourage it. That's why they have this society running at 1,000,000 miles a second, pumping you up with caffeine and nicotine. That's why they discourage you from showing love and affection and encourage cruelty and violence. That's why they pulverize you with 440 hertz. And their law of attraction and vision boards and Ouija boards, which are unprotected portals to freaking demonic satanic entities that'll come into your life and will never detach themselves from you. But you don't realize these things because you haven't been encouraged, trained, motivated, or aware to be able to recognize or realize the power of energy, let alone the power of your energy. Until now.